So welcome back, drifters. Today we're doing something a little bit different because I'm still waiting on parts for the 67 Mustang. So today I'm actually helping my dad out because his truck, it's a Silverado with 360,000 miles, finally died. The engine just gave out. We don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but I'm pulling the engine. We're going to take a look at it. He may end up getting a new engine, and who knows, I might have a spare 4.8 that I might be able to do something with later. And also, the Miata still exists. We still have it. It's just been sitting over here in a car cover because I haven't had time to actually work on tuning the thing because we have a Mega Squirt and everything, but I don't know the first thing about doing that, and I'm still kind of trying to learn that in the background. But anyway, today I'm pulling this thing out. We're going to kind of tear this engine apart, see just how bad the damage is. When my dad destroyed it, he called me up, and he was probably about an hour away, and it turned out, he's like, yeah, you know, has the truck always made this noise? And I was like, no, I don't think so. It was ticking and it was making a bunch of noises, and then he's like, yeah, it started knocking real hard and then it just shut off. And I was like, well, that's not good. And then I guess he was able to turn it on again, started knocking real hard, shut itself off. So we don't know exactly what's wrong with this truck, but we know it's going to be something pretty bad from what I saw in the oil. So I'm going to work on getting this thing pulled out, and then we'll start tearing it down, take a look at what we got, and see if we need to get a new engine or what. Maybe we'll rebuild it. I don't know. Let's get to it. So this is what 360,000 miles look like. Yeah, there's so much sludge and buildup inside this engine. It is kind of insane. I can't wait to get this thing apart and see the actual damage. But the only thing I got left to do is basically unhooking the transmission, and then we should be able to start lifting this thing out. It's just basically everything's kind of loose in here. We got everything out. Nothing too special here. This is real simple to do, but yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so this has been a serious pain in the butt because I kept running into issues with the bolts in the very back. For whatever reason, GM thought it was a good idea to put 13s on top of 15s. So they actually use studs on the bell housing bolts. So it makes it really difficult sometimes to get things in there. Luckily, I was able to just sit in the engine bay and kind of reach around and do that kind of stuff, and it worked, but my God. It's a pain. So I've got one bell housing bolt to go, and then this thing should be free. All I've done is I basically took the AC and all that, and I kind of moved out the way the power steering, so it's pretty much ready to go. We're going to pull this sucker out and then take a look at what's on the inside and see just how bad this engine is. So let's get to it. So under here I've got the jack and a jack stand holding the transmission, so that way it doesn't go falling down, but it should be pretty good. Alright, time for the fun part, getting under this damn thing. This is the part that really sucks. Last bell housing bolt. Are we gonna be a pain or are we gonna go out? Rug socket. Of course. Fuck me. Alright, come on, baby, come on. Damn it. I'm gonna end up using like 30 extensions to get in there. So this is literally the extension that I needed to use to get in there. I don't know if you can see just how long this is, and the wobble bit. Yeah, it's real fun. All right, let's pull this sucker out. Okay, so we're hitting in that back part of the firewall, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. So I had to do something a little sketchy. I ended up tearing this thing apart and basically used these chains, and I found the chain inside my dad's garage, and I don't know what it's rated to, but we're gonna certainly hope that it's good enough. Let me show you. So they had this chain in there, and it's a little rusty, but I just basically connected the links there, so hopefully these links are strong enough. It only has to hold about 400 pounds, so it should be fine. But yeah, it was just hitting this back portion of the firewall here, so this should give us the clearance we need. So yeah, let's hook it up and do it. I forgot I was going to show you guys, so you might notice that the hood is like pretty much vertical. We got it propped up because Chris came up with a good idea, and basically we just took the spring and you just remove one bolt from here and you can literally flip it up. You got to do it to where it sets just before hitting the windshield, and as long as there's not a lot of wind, it should be fine. And it holds it like basically vertically. So, and it's just one bolt, so we don't have to worry about readjusting the hood when we're done to get it to fit right. So, nifty little trick if you're trying to do this and not have to mess with adjusting body panels. So, there you go. Tell you, sometimes this stuff can be kind of a pain in the butt, especially when you're dealing with like older stuff. But I'll tell you, it'll be nice when it's done. And you know, my dad's done a lot to help me out, so I figured this is something nice that I can do to kind of help him out with his situation, because you know, it sucks when your vehicle breaks down like this, and this is kind of a real expensive repair if you go somewhere, but we can find a junkyard motor for probably $500-600 bucks. I mean, it's a 4.8, so it's even cheaper. You know, just a little bit of time, and boom, we got a new good running truck. So yeah, should be fun, but let's get this thing pulled out and see how it does. We gonna get any luck here, or are we gonna get a problem? Let's see. We're lifting the entire truck up. That's not good. I'm gonna go try to pry the tranny, maybe. Maybe it needs a little help. Oh, this is strange. Huh. Well, this is the part about engines and shit like this that can be annoying, because from what I'm seeing, there's nothing that should be holding this engine in, but for some reason, it's being held in. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's this. Hang on. It's the spark plugs. I thought we got the spark plugs out, but we didn't.
You're fine.
Okay.
Something's coming out.
Yeah, it's coolant.
There, it's coming forward a little bit.
Let me go check, make sure we're free of the transmission.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're out of the transmission. Okay. It's hitting right down here on this engine mount, on the bottom of the block. Go lower, I guess. That was very close. Holy shit! You almost crushed my hand.
Well,
You dropped it.
said,
Yeah, but you dropped it.
I didn't drop it. I'm sorry.
That's drop. Oh my god! I almost lost my finger, Dad.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I need a second, because that's, holy shit. When I'm saying lower, let me show you. So when I say lower, it's like this. See the difference between that versus that? It's a big difference. I'm not trying to be an asshole, I'm just saying because I literally almost lost my hand on that. Because my hand was stuck right in between there. If I had pulled it out, it would be gone. That's why. I'm not trying to be a dick, it's a safety thing. I'm sorry.
I don't mind if you do it. I don't want to risk ruining your hand.
I know.
Seriously. I don't mind.
It's fine. You don't know any better.
Well, take a pry bar.
You want to try jacking it up just a little bit, slowly, and I'll try to work this around it.
So are we?
Pretty close. Hang on. There she goes. She's free.
Now, will that pan get caught on it?
Pan's not bolted up.
Okay.
Try jacking it up.
You want me to jack it up?
Yeah, you can jack it up. Yeah, there she goes. She's free. Okay, yeah, she's free now. There she goes.
Hey, put a hole in my radiator. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it okay?
Now we can see what the pump looks like. Now we need to build an engine stand?
Yeah, but for right now, we'll just lower this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Are you going to tear it apart?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Are you going to put it...
Look at that. There's a layer. You see that layer of just sludge in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I want to
caked.
stick my finger in there. Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, look at that.
That is thick.
Wait.
That is... Holy crap. That's probably why we couldn't tell what was in it. It's probably all trapped in there.
That's why it wasn't pumping. It's so thick.
It might have just been a clogged pickup tube.
Well, probably.
Well, that would have been what killed it.
Synthetic?
Well, no, that's just emissions and years
Really?
of... That's just... I mean, it's 360,000 miles, but...
Yeah.
This thing is destroyed.
I can move it around once it's in here. Right here is fine.
Okay.
More?
We're good. Yeah. Doesn't that look better? It's not sagging as much. I can't talk. Alright, that's good.
Hold on.
There we go. Alright, we're up. So I wanted to show you real quick. This is all just a bunch of buildup and stuff from over the years. This is what 360,000 miles of just grime and sludge and just pure nastiness looks like. So we're going to take all this off and then just see if we can see anything from under here. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So it's the next day and I actually got a little bit ahead of myself, but let me show you where we're at. Okay, so I may have gotten a little bit out of hand. I took the harmonic balancer off. It's actually, you use a Chrysler harmonic balancer puller because it has to reach really deep inside there to pull it off. So we got that off. And also used a torch because the bolt gets stuck on there with the Loctite. But yeah, we got this thing open and you can see this thing is just filthy. I mean, it is just nasty. But I'm not seeing anything too crazy in terms of like damage. But we won't really know until we get the crankshaft out, we get these rods off, we check the bearings and all that. But first we're going to go ahead and pull these heads off. We'll get a look at the pistons and see what's going on there. Okay, so far this engine's confusing me because although it is extremely dirty, you can tell it's very high mileage, 360,000 to be exact. It's actually not that bad. I don't see any problems with these pistons. They don't look like super heated. They do have some carbon buildup, but honestly, not nearly as bad as in the intake and stuff, which is probably from all that EGR stuff. But it looks good. Let me show you. So besides all the buildup, they're looking pretty good. I'm going to have to inspect the bores, but for the most part, it looks pretty dang good. And I mean, look at these pistons right here. They're not looking too terrible right now. There's a little bit of carbon, maybe a little bit of heat that happened there, but like, nothing too bad, surprisingly. I mean, even these bores look all right. But we'll see. We're gonna go ahead now. We're gonna pull the camshaft, so we're gonna have to take the front cover off. We're gonna remove the crankshaft, the rods, and the pistons, and then let's see if we can find the actual damage here. So we think we found the first sign of a problem, and that is we found some metal in the third journal back from the front, so cylinder number, what is that, 6? So let me show you real quick. So I don't know if you can see that right there, but that is definitely metal inside of this thing. So I've tried scooping some out, and it's definitely little metal flakes in there. So I'm going to work on getting the rest of these out, but I think this may be our problem area in this general vicinity. So I'm going to continue pulling all these pistons, and we'll get to pulling the Wow, I am stuttering so bad today. Okay, so we're going to get to pulling the rest of these pistons as well as the crankshaft, and then if I find anything else, I'll let you know. Okay, so we discovered the problem, and believe it or not, it's a spun main bearing. I have no idea how this happens, but it's actually pretty bad. Let me show you. So I don't know if you can see that, but it is clogged with metal and debris, and this thing is just beyond gone. That's the thrust bearing, which is a pretty normal one to go if you're going to lose a main bearing, but yeah, that's just that one. This one over here actually spun the bearing in the actual housing. This thing is just grooved. I mean, it is just, you can feel it in the block. I mean, it is pretty deep. So I don't know if that's even savable with a line hone or not. That's pretty bad. So this block may have just become an anchor. So this right here is a chunk of the thrust bearing, or at least what's left of it. The rest of it is still on the main cap. So you can see there where the thrust bearing is literally missing a chunk of metal. It's completely spun. I mean, you can see it's just grooved all to hell. Yeah, there's a better view of the piece that's just straight up missing. It's, yeah, it's a little bit gone. Okay, so if you look there, you can see that it is just completely grooved. I mean, it's really bad. So the bearing's actually spun inside the main caps. I don't know if that's actually going to be fixable or not, and I'm guessing probably not. So I don't know if it's visible or not, but you can see that this right here is an actual groove cut into the actual part of the block. Now, I don't know if that's deep enough that it's just basically unfixable, because they could technically line hone this, but that seems pretty ridiculously deep. So I missed this the first time. There's an actual hole in this bearing here that shouldn't be there. That's, yeah, that's pretty cool. This piece here is just completely stuffed with metal. That's all just a bunch of metal stuck in there. It's basically welded in there. So, yeah, that's not good. It's kind of interesting because the first bearing and the last bearing seem to be fine, but it's each of these ones that just all went to shit. So, yeah, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one. On the plus side, all the cylinders look really good. No issues in there. So take a look at this. This bearing is pretty much stuck on here because there's so much material stuck inside those oil grooves that it's pretty much welded to this thing. So, yeah, that's not good. And those lines you're seeing, those are grooves. I can literally catch my finger on all of them. This bearing is pretty much the same story as well. It's all pretty much screwed. So, crankshaft is basically done. We have one rod that's got a little bit of a pit in it, but the pistons themselves look okay. And main caps are pretty much screwed. So yeah, this is looking more and more like a potential boat anchor. So the more that I look at this thing, the more that I'm realizing that it's pretty much turning into a boat anchor, because the crankshaft is toast. So that's completely done. We've got 3 main caps that are pretty much screwed up. Now, we might be able to fix it with a line hone, but that's a big maybe. So I'll have to look into that. I'm going to have to measure that and we'll see. But honestly, I think one of the easiest things would be just to get a different engine. Because I found one up in, I think it's Kyle, Texas, which is ironic. But yeah, they want like $300 for it. But it also needs some work, but at least it's not spun like this. So that might be a possibility too. But yeah, it's just unfortunate because most of the stuff looks pretty good. But, you know, hey, at least we know what it is, and it definitely blew up in a very catastrophic manner. So, yeah, I don't know what exactly we're going to do next, but if you guys want to see what we do, you know, let me know down in the comments, and, you know, I'll see what I can film for you, and we'll just kind of see what we can do with this thing. I don't know if we're going to build this engine out or what. Who knows? But, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get done today, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.